low, and you're not going to stand up very fast, right? You're not going to stand up and throw your head back. You're just going to stand up and try to launch it towards the ceiling.
So in this video, what we're going to do is I'm just going to coach, and you're going to just watch me coach through techniques, and you can hear and listen to what I have to say.
If you can't control it, then slow it down.
We're working on learning full ins, which we're totally not ready for, so that's why we're going to play with this, and you can see how I'm going to process the conversation. But I want you to look at the entry, how quickly she gets down. Right now she's just working on her full in. You need to not slow down the tumbling pass, only slow down the flip.
Yeah, so make it
No, she's just doing timer.
right to this point.
No, I'm saying, does she tuck fold?
Yeah, she tuck fold, yeah.
I didn't talk through the previous steps of it, so that was okay.
What?
Still get to the same spot. Just make sure when you're standing up that you don't continue throwing the back.
Let's go, next person on. We'll see what we're seeing here. She throws down well, but she travels too far over her feet when she stands up. You need to run faster for one. Your run's not quick enough. Okay, and then you're standing up, and when you're standing up, your hips are traveling over your feet. So then you're traveling. And we need you to stand up to send you straight to the ceiling.
Get more
So
pressure.
you need to keep your hips in front of your feet, or on this side of your feet, okay? So they don't stand up, they just stay, and the head and chest can rise, but the hips don't travel. Same problem we were talking about on trampoline. We're trying to get the bend without the bend traveling. We're bending our body without it traveling. What was the difference on that one that she did? Did she go faster into the?
It was faster. She wasn't able to tuck as much because that would have sent her to her head. Her left hand got stuck to the side. So
You need to not try to flip so much, so it should actually take off like this, Eva, at an angle. You should take off like this so that the flip, almost you're countering the flip. You're not trying to flip. You're just going to go super fast, hit that angle, and then pull the full, and let the run do all the work. It's much faster. Hopefully you can see the difference. So you're taking off somewhere right about here, okay, and you're traveling there. It's not bad, but it would be nicer if you were a little bit closer, or just taking off, you're like right here, taking off a little bit further away, so things are a little bit smaller. But the main thing is that you're hitting the tumble track, your hips are here with your feet, and you're standing up, and by the time you go to bend, okay, your hips now traveled past your feet. Now you're going to travel that way more. So you need to figure out how to get your feet down quicker in the back handspring, down quicker, so that you can start standing up with your hips not traveling over your feet. So that means you're going to actually collapse on yourself in the back handspring. You're not going to travel out in the back handspring. You're going to pull it over so everything gets down quicker, so it initiates earlier. Does that make sense what I'm kind of saying? Feet down quicker so everything gets initiated earlier, and then you'll start going up higher. And to put your feet down quicker makes your back handspring look bad. It should look like that's not how it's supposed to look. That's what it should look like. Because we're on a tumble track, the surface drops so much further than a floor, you have to be careful to understand how the travel is. That's a lot better. It's a lot better. So now you have to have a super hyper awareness of the transition from the tumble track and hitting the tumble track and where your bottom is on the tumble track. So where the bottom is, you need to actually be able to feel it, so that you know exactly when you're supposed to initiate everything else. If you can't feel the bottom, you're going to speed everything up, and you're either going to go incredibly late or incredibly early because you don't feel that point. So I would do exactly the same thing and feel like you're really hitting that bottom. Bow, and then you're like, okay, I know where I am. And then everything else is easier after that point. So we're working on a double pike on this next one. She's going quick. Her hips did not travel as much. There's much more rotation, but they're still traveling too much. She's actually not exposing or opening herself up enough. Okay, not too bad. Your hips were pretty much over the top when you took off, okay? But you're in this type of position, okay? So as you go to flip and everything, it's just gonna be shooting backwards. You need to get over your hips so that your hips travel forwards as your head travels backwards. If my hips are traveling backwards and my head and everything is just traveling backwards, nothing's countering this, it's too much. So hips got to get to open, which means I got to open everything up as much as possible. Super scary. It's going to feel a lot slower, and then it's going to pick up speed. So this was all great, dot, 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 and then it should feel pow, and it's going to be like, this is too slow, and then it's like snap right into everything you want. Okay? So it's going to have a delay effect. But if you do it right, you're going to feel awkward. The run, back handspring, all of that was beautiful. I don't think she's getting into the surface enough on the round off back handspring, but I don't want to fix that right now because she's working on the takeoff position. I like that, everything off of that. Do you know where you are in that feeling?
Like at the bottom?
Mm-hmm. Can you feel the transition between the going into the tumble track and leaving the tumble track? You know where that point is? Okay, because once you know where that point is, then it's just commit to everything harder, right? You're twisting pretty open, which is great because all you need to do is then pull in tighter and the flip will happen. But here is the mystery, okay? And you can listen to this if you want to ever do a full in, okay? But the mystery is this. If I'm doing my full, okay? This spot right here is where your head needs to start going into the ground, okay? I'm going to say this again. I'm doing a back full, you twist right, correct?
Yeah.
So I do a back full, I'm twisting. The error is I'm going to continue twisting and then try to back out. That's where it stalls on itself because my head is still in the wrong position. So you need to get back full, you get to the 3/4 mark. At the 3/4 mark, you dump your head into the ground and you pull your knees over your head. That's how you're going to make the full out.
So we want to keep it like the same as we've been doing until we're like 3/4? Or
Mm-hmm.
like still like
What do you mean by that?
You will have to tuck more than what you are currently.
You will have to tuck in more.
but like we're kind of like stalling it almost like in the takeoff. Do you still want us to
Everything the same, don't change much, other than when you go to pull the second flip out, you'll have to shrink shape, but you have to initiate the flip not when the full has finished, but on the 3/4 of the full. That's the biggest key. You don't finish the full. You finish the full in the initiation of going upside down. So again, I'm doing my back full, I get to this point right here, and I'm about to finish my back full. I could land on my feet. Just normal back full, I'm going to land on my feet. But you get to this point, you go, I don't want to land on my feet. So you take your feet and you send them to this side, you send your head down, and that's where the finish happens. The finish happens as if you were to over-rotate to your back. But you have to initiate it at the 3/4 mark. And if you don't initiate it at the 3/4 mark, then the double-double is nearly impossible. Because you can't do a double-double by finishing the full, flipping, and then trying to twist again. It stalls out and does funny things. So you initiate on the 3/4. That took Bella and I a long time to figure out. And then once you got that dialed in, everything else was happy. Are you afraid of hitting this edge?
what?
Why is this mat here?
I don't know.
Is it just a climb out?
It was just there.
Okay, what do you have? I mean, you guys look like you're suspicious, so do you have?
What? Oh, it just
Can,
kept falling.
can I move it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Do you care?
I like tried to get out.
You guys are just looking at me funny as I'm holding a mat. All right. Liana, you're up. You're going to try to not get those hips to travel. You're trying to keep them in front of your feet, but you're going to try to stand up and scary exposure. Okay,
We don't talk about that.
that was clever. Definitely different. Might want to review the film on that one. Just kidding. I don't know what you did either, but I guess we're going for like a layout to a tuck flip.
No, I opened at the wrong time.
I know, and then you're like, I guess I'll double backflip now. It was like some tricky, it was like some sneaky moves there. We are going to see how this goes. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah, she's going for it. It's okay. Boom. Yeah, she did something. She did something. That was fantastic. Good job. Woohoo!
I just saw a bunch of.
Yeah, that's good.
That moment is actually what Riley was talking about. Your upper body kept twisting.
Okay, let's go. Let's get some more numbers in. Good job. You did great. You don't have to worry about it. Don't measure it because that's your first one. You just have to get through the emotional experience. So good job on that.
There is something that feels similar to it. I could have you try on a trampoline, but I'm worried about it right now.
Now I think we've fallen asleep. You're fine. You're fine. You just, if you need a rest or take a second to think about what you're doing. We're doing double pikes, I believe. So something you're going to want to watch is the hand and feet timing, the rhythm of where it goes hands, feet, and then where everything takes off. Now she's not completing the 3/4, and you can see that, so it's a side flip out. So you got the three. It's great because you're doing the 3/4 exactly like we're saying, and then we're saying initiate the flip, and you're doing that. So you're actually doing the 3/4, and then you're side flipping out. So you get to that 3/4 part, you're sending your head down, and you're actually doing a side flip on the second flip. Well, it finishes the twist at the very end of the everything else.
It feels like I'm twisting and flipping. Like I don't
Right.
know where the
Well, no, and that's fine. That's fine. You haven't done enough. So it's not a bad thing because you're doing the 3/4 and you're getting your head down, which is great. And then once you get your head down, it's like side flips, and then it finally twists at the very end, and that's how you end up kind of how you are. It's not bad. It's not bad for your first time ever doing that. That's a really great start. Obviously, we have more coordination we need to build up in the, as Cooper was saying, just doing standing folds. You know, she doesn't have a standing fold dialed in. She's still got a lot of twisting skills. I mean, she's not even double twisting on a trampoline. So really, this is pushing her limit. But I think it's a good thing to see that you can see how quickly you can progress somebody with the right conversation and understanding. And so just the immediate ability to know where she is and make those cues happen, I think is key in the conversation and not getting super complex. Just tell them what needs to happen, where it needs to happen, and support them in finding it. Get excited about it when it does, so it locks in on their brain. It's okay. You need to go back to talks, you need to go back to high layouts. What do you need to go back to? Do that. Whenever you're making mistakes and you're making at least, I mean, 3 of them is too many, but when you're seeing a 3 pattern, you definitely need to stop and go back to simpler things so that we get confidence back into the system. So just do tucks and just work on your takeoff position in a tuck position. And then you don't have to do so complex things and worry about piking and all that jazz. How many more of these do you want to do? Because 3 is plenty if you want to stop at 3.
I mean, I want to do like at least enough so that they're not landing like all sideways in the air.
Well, that's ambitious of you on your first time ever doing it. You're going to have to pull in tighter.
Yeah.
And you need to now then, if that's what you want, you have 2 sides of your body. So you have, I'm twisting right, which means I have my left side of my body that needs to drive over to my right side, which means you need to pull in your left knee and get the left knee to do more initiation of the twist than your right side. When your right side initiates, the left side gets left behind. You actually need to crank the left side over more. The only way to fake it, and yeah.
Upper body goes straight, lower body.
Just crank that knee to that, yep.
My arms will drop with my lower body. That's not bad.
That's a lot better in the coordination. It's a lot better. It's, I mean, who really teaches tuck twisting, you know, in this type of position? So the difference of how open you can be is going to initiate everything. And when you initiate that upside down is going to change everything. That one, your upside down didn't commit as well, but it was twisting more coordinated.
Yep.
And there's,
We're bouncing out too many things in a system right now.
Yeah.
For it to be like, oh yes, you're going to do this. Most people who are ready for it tend to spend 3, 4, 5 practices figuring all these.
right, these nuances of conversation, yeah.
Or even feel it.
Yeah, so you're doing great.
You're going to lay it for the person's 2 or 3 weeks around the early ones.
I really like that one. Like, I really liked how the back handspring went feet, hands, and how that energy hit. And then when you went feet, hands, you immediately pulled your feet down. It was just like feet, hands, pow, feet. You noticed, I don't know if you felt it, but did it feel like you tried very hard to double back on that one?
No.
Right, because what happened was is you set up yourself, so when you hit the tumble track, your natural timing, you could do your natural timing, but everything happened earlier. So it was exactly where you wanted it, but you didn't have to change how it felt, if that makes sense, because you set it up correctly. That's what the double pike needs to be. You set it up right, and then the timing feels correct.
I know you hit some pretty good double packs so far, similar to that one. I don't think you hit them in your double packs yet. Probably need to rest if you want to do double packs.
Okay, now you're trying too hard. Now you're just trying too hard. You're doing great. But that is like when somebody tries to run just a little bit faster and then like funny stuff starts to happen. You started the back handspring a little bit faster than what you normally do. So everything was a little bit quicker at the very beginning. You weren't able to get to where you needed to be. Your twist, like everything was like fast and twisty, but your height and timing didn't have that nice flip. So it got rushed. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad problem. Because you almost over twisted that, which is great in that sense. Huh? Eventually, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Yes. Good. Good. Love it. That's very good. To get to a double pike, you're going to have to stand up even more. You're going to have to open up to a straighter, scarier position, which actually shouldn't be that hard for you because you did, when you did that layout to tuck, when you did the layout to tuck, it's kind of the same thing. Stretch like you're going to do a layout and then pull the tuck in. Just get it to stand up a little bit taller than tuck. I know. That's what you wanted. You need more of it. If you're going to do a double pike, you need more exposure of open chest, open head, neck, shoulders, opening.
Wait, so do I do a double pike?
No, do the double tuck with the setup like a double pike. Get more exposure into that double tuck. Okay, I dig that. That's cool. That's like a half in, half out. That's not a bad thing because that's a very easy, common way to teach twisting on a dismount on bars. So that feeling right there is more what your bars is going to feel like.
Actually, there's a lot of skills that you can incorporate from learning how to do it and then being aware of it.
And basically what you want to do is be able to do full in, and then single out, and then you want to do half in, half out, and then you want to do flip and then full out. You want to learn all three. And then you smash all three together, and then you add a couple more things in there, and now you're doing a quadruple double. It's on the secret menu of In-N-Out, the quadruple double. Oh, the Jarbez. Okay, good. Whew. Oh, laid out too. Okay, we're going places. All right, let's see what the setup looks like. Okay. Okay. I'm at game. Yes. Okay. Now the only difference you would make in the pike is just literally straighten your legs. You wouldn't change the setup. You would just straighten your legs. I'm just saying that's the difference. You wouldn't do much more than that. You don't have to do it. You're fine. We'll watch this last
Currently, she's still rising.
full in.
But when we had her growing into an arch for a while there, when her arms started to delay more and more, because they're never as fast as the rest of her body, we'll see them bent and staying in front of her. And then she ended up traveling significantly further because the takeoff was, well, couldn't feel it. Feeling the takeoff's better now, so I'm less worried about that, but her arms are still relaxed in the throw.
Yeah. I just think that as long as her hips are on the right side of her feet, like at least we can get this part grounded, then we definitely need to fix this. But at least it's not getting thrown backwards.
I'm just saying overall it's actually a looser position than what she was doing.
Yes.
So that's going to create more rotation when she pikes. The biggest thing is she needs to fix the takeoff first.
Well, yeah, she's going to have to be much more engaged on her upper body for that pike to work. But yeah, good job. I would end on that one and let's move on to another thing.
Can you do the same thing without relaxing your arms, Yona? Can you do the same thing without relaxing your arms, or is that going to be too much?
You're welcome. Good job.
Without relaxing my arms?
Can you keep tension in your body throughout the skill?
You're hitting an angle and you're throwing open aggressively, but there's no tension out. So it looks like you're going back to what I'm head throwing and I'm relaxing my arms instead of using them.
We're just talking about the arm throw and the looseness in the arm throw, but we might be adding too many things to the system of coordination and awareness where now she has to keep tension in her arms, which she naturally doesn't want to. And we saw a little bit that if you watch the C-drop back handspring video where she doesn't want to keep tension in her arms. And so now she's doing a hard skill with energy and coordination, and now we're asking her to do something that's not naturally comfortable to her, and so that might throw things off, but we'll see where it goes. We're just waiting. And here she goes. The back handspring setup is getting a lot better in consistency-wise. Do you not like how that feels? Okay. It's okay. You're allowed to not like how it feels. What feels bad about it? What don't you like? Well, put words to things.
No, it didn't feel bad.
Okay. Well, what did it feel like? Like, you obviously didn't do it, so why didn't you do it? What was the reason why you didn't do it? What did you feel that made you stop? I felt this thing and then I stopped. You just have to throw words out. You don't have to throw the correct words out. They don't even have to be accurate or right. You just start talking about what it was. You felt arched? I'm only asking because that's, okay, thank you. I'm not attacking you. You were not arched, okay? In the sense of direction. If your feet are behind you and your hips are on this side of your feet, in order to stand up straight, I will be arched. But you're not arched in the sense of arched like this. You're arched like this. So it's directional. It's a necessary arch. And then you got the tension. Your hands pointed straight to the ceiling. So everything was going whoop, right where you wanted it to go. You just now need to realize that you're going up with using that arch instead of going backwards and down with that arch. It was massive. But that's the confidence. It's okay. That's why I'm trying to help you understand that your entry is dialed in. That back handspring is setting you up perfectly, that you get to that arch position. It's exactly what you want. Yeah. Yeah. The arms is the confidence thing we got to build in too. Good job. You're fine. You're fine. It's looking good. You want to do another one? Well, then why are you upset about yourself? Well, either be happy for yourself, like, okay, good, I did good, positive vibes, I did good, or fix something so you can walk away going, I did good. But we don't need to end on I did bad. If you want to do front twisting. Yep, good, on a trampoline. When you're throwing too many things at a person that is not emotionally ready to make the subtle changes, sometimes you will plateau and you'll find that you can't really get over that next hump because the subtle changes that need to happen are getting in the way of the emotions of the skill. And so what we want to do is fix those subtle changes and build confidence with them in other places. This is where the seat drop back handspring would come in, just doing back layouts, doing flyaways, doing Yurchenko timers, and where we're going to build confidence in the subtle changes of tension in the arms and throughout the opening of the chest and the shoulders. And so, but now this little thing is getting in the way, and so now it's like, where's the brain supposed to focus on? Get the arms where they need to be, or worrying about survival of the double tuck? And now the brain is splitting its focus, and now it's hard to say, well, what should I do? What matters? I don't know how to prioritize this in my internal system. And so that's what we're talking through with the athlete, is to help her prioritize what matters and help her understand, what does she want to care about? Does she want to care about her arms, or does she want to care about just direction? How many things are we throwing at her till she breaks down? Cool, let's back off a little bit and let's get her successful so that she can walk away feeling good, because it's very important to walk away feeling successful. Oh wow, okay, cool. That was a lot better. Do you feel anything different? Or any like good things you're like, I liked how I did this, or this worked, or I felt that? Okay. Cool. Good job. rotate. You're done. And there we have talking through double flipping on a tumble track. Have a great day, everyone.